Good evening and welcome to series 5 of In Conversation With. Just had a bit of technical difficulties just then, but I think we're all right now actually. So this is series 5. I cannot believe we're on series 5 already, and this is the first episode, and I'm just about to welcome in my guest for this evening. Do you know what? It feels a lot longer. It feels a hell of a lot longer than the 1.5 months, 2 months maybe since I last did series 4. But I'm so happy to be back. Bear me a second as I bring in my guest. Hey guys, thank you so much for choosing to join me this evening live, which is wonderful. Hopefully we will have our guest with us soon. But here she is.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Right, okay, I'm going to get straight into this. This series' theme is all about, I love social, right? But this really is, I always say social isn't the be all and end all. And I think its real power comes from partnering with all of the other wonderful marketing visibility tools that are out there. And so this series, I've got 5 awesome business owners who are going to share their tips, their insights into their sort of like their marketing area. And we'll talk about how it works so well with social media. And this evening, I am joined all the way over from Brisbane, Australia, by Laura. So welcome, Laura. What time is it over
Thank
in
you.
Brisbane at the minute?
It's 6 a.m.,
What?
much earlier than my normal wake up time.
That is insane. And thank you so much for choosing to wake up that early. And how is it? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if I were to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I would not look as good. How do you do it? It's insane.
I just factored in time. I just pushed through, woke up early, put makeup on.
Shut up. I'm here. I love it. So I'm going to introduce Laura properly. Laura is a soulful brand strategist, helping conscious small business owners and creatives build the foundation for a remarkable digital presence that stands out from the crowd. She will gently encourage you using her heart, help you kind of like lean on your values, and help you to show up as you are. Honestly, Laura, you are amazing. And this evening, Laura's going to be talking to us about email marketing, because hands down, I'm going to challenge anyone who watches this either live or on replay. There is no one who does newsletters as good as you, Laura. That's
Thank
it.
you.
And I've signed up to loads, right? Since starting the business 3 years ago, I've had my fair share of ups to various emails. There is one other person who, and she's a blogger, and she's been blogging for, I don't know, 15 or so years. She does do very good emails, and I look
Yeah,
forward to reading hers, and I've passed you on hers actually, because you've both got a very
yeah.
similar style. Her name, what's her name? It's Anna. Anna. Oh, Rena, you're watching. Help me out. Pop it in the chat for me. But yours, Laura, I want to know, how do you manage to write your letters, as you call them, Laura's letters, so that I feel as though you've written just to me and no one else? How the heck do you do that?
Well, thank you for saying that, because that's like a huge goal of writing the letters, is that it's like connecting with the person on the other end. And I mean, I speak from experience, and we're all sort of going through shared experiences in general, and also just as business owners, and people want something to connect to. So keeping in mind that there's someone on the other end of the email and who you want to connect with and not just sell to. And just always keeping in mind that, well, I mean, I have a lot of friends who subscribe to the newsletter as well, so acting as if I'm writing for them as well is a big part of it.
That is a really good tip, because everything you say completely makes sense, right? It's
Yeah.
right as if you're right from the heart, just like you do. You're that brand soul strategist. But how I think it's one thing doing it, saying it, and another thing doing it. Because I don't know about you guys, if you're watching now live or on replay, I find email marketing so darn tricky. And we're going to talk. You're going to share some tips, hopefully, shortly. But think about, well, how do I get the tone right, and what sort of, how much content do I put in there, and how much do I leave out, and then what about the call to action? And I see because I've signed up so many, I see so many differing styles as well. But along with those different styles, I've also unsubscribed to loads. But yours come through every 2 weeks, don't they? One landed in my inbox today. Yeah. When did you know? And you must. When did you know that writing, copywriting, particularly with the newsletters, was your thing? Do you consider it?
Well, I consider myself a writer. I never really thought of newsletters as my thing, but maybe I should make it my thing because it's obviously working well for me. But I don't know. I just sort of see it as an extension of my brand voice, and carrying like that voice through is quite easy because it's easy for me because I am my brand. But once even any business can do that, once you've kind of established your guidelines around what your brand voice actually sounds like, and just aiming for like people to come away with a feeling from your newsletter. So if you know what you want people to feel after they've read your newsletters or any kind of content of yours, really, it can help you to carry that vibe throughout all of your content, not just your letters.
And I think isn't it? You said it. It's that feeling that you want to leave with people or create as they read your letter. I love handwriting letters. My sisters and close friends, and and I get the feeling it's that similar sense of joy, receiving it, opening it, and then just consuming the content, already knowing because you've experienced, your brand, their brand, either in person as a friend or as a business. You've seen their social, and it's that anticipation, isn't it, that it's going to just hit the mark. But I want to know, how long has it taken you to develop that? Because you make it sound so damn easy. I'm still struggling 3 years later. How long has it taken you?
A little while. As I said, it is easy in that it is my own voice, but I still sort of have struggled with that. Wanting to be myself, but coming up against like that sense of professionalism and all that stuff, especially with emails, because we use it as a professional tool. Like we use it in business to talk to clients and stuff like that. I think there's like an extra step there where we kind of only see it as a sales tool. When we log into MailChimp or whatever, we're just like, yes, I'm going to do some sales. So we put in all this effort to connect on social media and be really genuine and stuff like that, and then we just forget to do that in newsletters, when we should be treating it the same way, really, in my opinion.
Do you think there's something in that you just said? We use emails every day when we're communicating to our clients. Is there something there in terms of reframing, rephrasing? 'Cause I call it email marketing, but I always distinctly think of yours as letters.
Yeah. Well, that was a deliberate naming choice as well. Like I deliberately named it letters so that it would be in my head that it was a letter. And I think there is power in naming things as well. Like I know you renamed your newsletter recently as well. There's power in like naming it something that's not a newsletter, so that once you've named something, then that's what sticks in your head.
No, absolutely. And I think that as you say, as you are therefore writing it as that person, again, you're not thinking, oh, I've got to make a sale, I've got to try and speak a certain way. Again, it is that I'm writing a letter to somebody I already have started to build a relationship with, and this is merely an extension of that conversation, we have already started.
Yeah,
So tell me,
exactly.
if you are you happy to? I'm interested because there is that balance. At the end of the day, it is a business tool.
Yeah.
Um, so when it comes to like number crunching, like reach and developing your brand, bringing in business, you know, how important are the letters to your business, or should I say should? Let's not say should. Could they to somebody's business as part of that revenue generating tool? And where do you find that balance?
Yeah, so I did look up my stats when in preparation for this because I didn't actually know what they were because that's probably bad for me to say as a marketer, but
I love your
because I come at it come at it as like connection first and sales second. So when I do get sales or inquiries from letters, it's just like a bonus for me. I don't see it as the end goal. And like my stats are actually really good. I was a little bit surprised,
self.
but well, like my open rate is usually between 40 to 50%, which is the industry average is 18%, I found out yesterday. So, and then even my click-through rate is like 2.5 and the industry average is 2.3. And that's including welcome sequences. So that's just not letters. That's all of the emails that go out with my freebies and stuff as well. So, yeah, I think it's a powerful brand building tool for me. I don't have the biggest mailing list. I just want to be really clear with that. Like my numbers are quite small considering how long I've been in business, but I like it small. I like it intimate, and I like the numbers never matter. The numbers are a vanity metric. So it just matters that you're like you as a business owner are getting out of it what you want to get out of it.
You are preaching to the converted there when it comes to vanity metrics. And yeah, it doesn't matter about the numbers of your community. Absolutely what you said. It's that quality of relationship.
Yeah.
Those stats are impressive, Laura. They
Thank you.
are, wow. If I thought you were amazing before, goodness, you've reached a whole other sort of like, yeah, now, Laura, my days. And I think you said something there again. It's the if a lead comes from it for you, it's not a sales first tool. It is a connection tool. It is a community
Yeah.
building, a brand tool. So again, couple that with the fact that you've rephrased it, reframed it, writing it as if you are writing to your friends. And I'm starting to see now where that your it's not a formula, but your pattern is working, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
imagine,
I mean, go on.
I was just going to say, I imagine you've honed that over time.
Yeah. I mean, this was one of the tips I was going to share later on, but
Well, we can get that
like
into,
I,
don't mind.
sorry.
Yeah, if I let's get into that if you don't mind now,
Yeah,
please.
into the chat.
Yeah, what are some of the tips that we should be looking out for and considering?
Well, so whenever I start any new content, I always think about how like my favorite people online and the inspiration for letters actually came from one of my favorite business owners. Um, and just not like thinking about how she presents herself online and the content that she puts out, and how that kind of cross sections with your goal for that piece of content. And also, as I mentioned before, the feeling you want people to have after they've read that piece of content. And before I thought about all of this, my newsletter was probably a bit more corporate. It was very much the sales tool with, it was just a vehicle to send people to my website or to my social media or stuff like that. It wasn't something that stood on its own as like a piece of content. So figuring all that out and realizing what I actually wanted people to feel and how I wanted to be perceived really helped me to figure out the tone for letters. And so that's pretty much the formula advice I have for that.
That makes complete sense. Again, it's that really, lots of people talk about it in marketing, don't they? Getting clear. But
Yeah,
I'm really hearing from you that clarity is paramount on so many different levels, from putting your own self in the mind frame of writing in a way that generates a sentiment that hopefully creates that, strengthens that connection that bit more, another link, another layer, however you want to phrase it, so that as you journey together, you're going through this relationship, and you do yours, like I say, every 2 weeks you send out this letter. So those are really nice, frequent nudges, actually, without
yeah,
feeling overwhelming. And because, again, you're not coming at it from a sales only perspective. It is, you said, it's a separate content piece.
yeah,
It could work by itself.
yeah, yeah.
This is all making sense. But not that Laura and I are going to be working together actually on my emails, because I'm not happy with where mine are at. Then I would absolutely encourage you, if that's the case for you, if you've tried to do it yourself, if you've tried to tweak it and it's still not quite working, my open rates are good, but they have dropped. And I don't know what it is. So Laura's going to help me, get out a microscope, and she's going to point out all the things that I'm doing wrong, in order for me to be able to flip that and put it right. Because I want to put it right, and I want what Laura has. I want all that connection. How much joy do you get from writing the letters?
It's a joyful experience, and I, more than anything, like the sales and the open rates and the click-through rates are all bonuses, but like the replies I get from people are what keeps it going. Like I can dip in and out of writing the blog, I can dip in and out of social media if I want to, if I'm not in the headspace, but letters is something I'm always like, no, this I'm gonna write it, even if I'm not really feeling it. Like it's always worth the effort. And I tend to think about what I need to hear in that moment when I am feeling not awesome about writing. And that's what I write. And that's what people resonate with.
So do you plan what you're going to, because like I say, you do it every 2 weeks. So for me, that would freak me out, and I'd need some sort of bit. But it sounds as though you don't. It's in the moment. You just write from the heart. Is that right?
So yeah, some of the time I do have like a guideline of what I want to talk about, which is just part of like a normal content plan. And that is that is like a prompt in case I can't think of what I actually want to talk about in that fortnight. So I go with my gut, and if that fails me, then I return to my content plan.
The more you talk, Laura, about your approach and your mindset to it, the more it just, again, I'm getting that sense of clarity, and I'm just nodding and going, yes, that's how it should be. And oh my days, thank you. We've run out of time. We are out of 20 minutes.
Flew by. Yeah.
It's insane, isn't it? Thank you so much for getting up ridiculously early to join us at this hour.
That's okay.
From Brisbane. I so appreciate all of that insight and the tips you shared and the honesty. I have felt distinctly that you talk as I knew you would, because we've chatted offline before, straight from the heart. And you are what you see here, guys, with Laura is what you get, right? Genuine. So thank you so much. Definitely, if you haven't already following Laura, please go and check her out. I will tag her into this post. But that's the first episode done in series 5. Same, I'm back next Wednesday, but at 7 o'clock, the usual time slot. And I'm going to be talking to Stephen Solidemi all about website. And I absolutely know you guys are going to love Stephen. Thank you so much, Laura, again for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Coffee now, breakfast, maybe a bit nap.
Yeah, exactly. That's the plan.
Awesome. Take care. Thanks so much for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
No worries.